This is Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories. My name is Elsie Godwin, and I'm here with Ife Oshunke and Ife Omai. Hey guys, how you doing? Good to have you. We missed you.
Oh yeah, you did?
Yeah, we did.
New?
When we had the law segment, nobody to break it down for us.
I just kept saying, I wish Ife was here, I wish Ife was here.
All right, moving on to the stories for this morning. R.Kelly has been arrested on federal sex trafficking charges, according to officials. He was arrested in Chicago on Thursday night on 13 federal sex crime charges and was expected to be taken to New York. The counts include child porn, enticement of a minor, and obstruction of justice. I think we've been expecting this for a very long time, right? And it's happening now. I don't know how he's going to do this one. I mean, this is not the first time he's being arrested, but this is federal now.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
The first thing I thought about was like child porn. Are you serious right now? Like, do you have issues? Clearly, you have issues, but is your issue that deep that you're going to be involved in child porn? It's very sick. So I really hope that, you know, he doesn't go off. I don't want bail. I don't want anything. Like, get locked away and get some psychiatric help, because child porn is really awful. Like, it's not even legal to put it online. So you must have searched and like found your way through the black market to go and look for adult men molesting babies. Like, it's a bit sick. But it's, like you said, it's the second one this year. He's already on bail for one. So they should just do this justice thing. Let's see what's gonna happen to him. I'm eager now.
Okay.
Yeah. I think when it comes to R. Kelly, child porn is nothing new, because that was the first thing he was arrested for, having sex with a minor and filming it at the same time. So it's not even like...
No. Not minor as in 16. Child porn is like babies watching people, like watching old men putting their things in babies. Like cradle babies, like toddlers.
Yeah, no, not just toddlers. You can't just limit it to toddlers.
I think as long as you're not 18.
Yeah, when it comes to child porn, you can't limit it to toddlers. It's just about minors. Whether she's 12, 13, whatever, it's called child porn, regardless. So when it comes to R. Kelly, I think that's what it's been. From the get-go, that's been the thing, because it was filming his sexual activities with a minor, and which is the first thing he was arrested for way back. I don't know how many years ago.
He pleaded guilty for all of them.
Yeah, so like Elsie said, this is federal level right now, so there's really nothing to say, and let's just watch justice play. And we all know when it gets to federal level, you're definitely going to jail.
Okay. Anything else to say?
At first, I was feeling bad for R. Kelly. It was a time where he was in the news all the time, and I kept saying like, "Hey, poor guy." And now I just take that back. It's like, please, can all the wrath rain on this man, and let's get the justice needed. And you're still free, and it seems like more and more. And there's human trafficking. Like, how did human trafficking get into your
that's
thing?
The one I want to question, because
human trafficking is the fact that you're holding people against their will, and you're actually importing people. Like, you're bringing people in from different states, different countries to come and live against their will with you, because say he owns a sex cult. So if you own a sex cult, obviously you'll be doing that with your neighbors and stuff. So that's where human trafficking came into all of this.
It's still pretty sick. Like, it's like, what the heck? Who is this guy? Why are you roaming around society freely? Please get locked up quickly, please.
All right, it's time for a break, but when we return, it will be time to find out why Chioma Akpotha is furious at the moment. We'll be right back.
You're watching Plus TV Africa, and this is Tea Time.
I loved the energy when I came in here. It was so positive. I was like, I can live here.
My real names are Akpotha.
I think my father is a comedian, because most times when he calls me, he's like, yo, make sure you use condom. You know, them girls out there.
So are you telling me I should have shot my shots?
Ife, you have a younger brother.
Age is nothing but a number. What? I'm a vampire.
I believe in equal rights for women, and I also believe that a man is the head of the house, so we need to draw our limits somewhere.
It feels so good. Now can I do my jam now?
Yeah, you can.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Actress Chioma Akpotha is furious after 9Mobile charged her 15,000 naira for making a 5-minute call. She took to her Instagram page to rant. Let's have a look at the video.
Okay, so I need you guys to help me. You know, I'm really, really upset right now. So I've been on the sea cruising for a few days now, and I missed my daughter a lot, so I had to call her. I called my daughter's phone for 5 minutes, 3 seconds, and 9Mobile charged me 15,600 naira. I need an explanation. How did they come about such an amount? 15,600 naira for what? Did I call Jesus? It's not even funny. Please, can you guys tag them? Can you guys just tag them till they explain to me what just happened? Because I really, really do not understand. 5 minutes, 303 seconds. I have screen grab of the notification.
Okay, she's definitely furious. I mean, I'm not sure what the rates are when you're calling from whatever sea she's cruising on and then calling Nigeria, I guess. I want to believe the girl is in Nigeria or the child is in Nigeria. But 15,600 naira for, I mean, that seems rather outrageous. And reading comments and reactions on this story, you realize that Nigerians are complaining. Yeah. This is not just about 9Mobile, MTN, Glo, all of them. Like the way they, from your data to your airtime to things that you cannot explain. At least this is the one she saw. Sometimes you make this call and you don't even have the time to check how much you were charged. I mean, I know of a friend who was saying that I think this same 9Mobile was taking 200 naira from her account every day from the month of April. She just found out last month. And she found out because the customer service person actually told her that, oh, we've been taking 200 naira from you. And she's like, for what? And they said, oh, she went in for a promo. She said she never did anything like that. I mean, I don't know what NCC is doing about it. I don't know if they are being regulated properly, but I know this falls on the laps of NCC, so I don't know.
I saw a comment where they were like, they charge a high sea price. So we have to consider location and stuff, but if there's no way you can calculate it or how distant you are, it can't be that expensive for a 5-minute call. So obviously something has been done. I remember with MTN, even in South Africa, they had a lot of issues where they're not really taking they're not accountable to how much they take from people. You say that something lasts for 6 weeks, and in like 2 weeks, before even you just open Instagram, all your data is gone. It happens a lot. I just wonder who is holding these people accountable, and if you ever get the money back, because we know before somebody can actually give you the money back in this country, it's really hard. So I feel for her. I mean, you should be able to have a plan that you can reach your family and loved ones without like breaking an arm and a leg for it.
Yeah, I don't want to just make this about a particular telecommunication brand, because I know they're all affected by this outrageous rates in terms of data, in terms of phone calls and all that. And if you make a lot of international calls, you know it's even worse to make international calls from Nigeria or calling from abroad down to Nigeria. It's crazy. So like you rightly said, we don't know where she's calling from. So when we don't know how much they charge, because I know they charge according to where you are. I know what they charge you when you're calling the UK is probably different from when you're calling
the exchange rates plays
Switzerland and all that. So I think now that she's called them out, I wouldn't want to say that, okay, maybe there's been a mistake somewhere, maybe if she doesn't know how much the rates to make an international call is, especially when you're roaming your line, because I know that is way more expensive when you're roaming your line, because you're calling with a Nigerian telecommunication network. Obviously, we don't know where you are, but I don't think they have the 9Mobile you're calling over there. So the rates obviously would be higher. So I don't want to jump into conclusion until I find out the exact rate, exactly where you are. And now that you've called them out, if you don't come back out to say, oh, they refunded my money, it was all a mix-up or something, then I just feel that you're being charged for what the government is allowing NCC to charge you for calling overseas, and which I'm not saying is totally correct. I'm just saying that that is what is there right now. So there's really nothing anybody can do about it. So you can run from now to tomorrow. If they tell you that this is exactly how much we charge from where you called, then you should have checked. When you travel, you check that, okay, if I have to call Nigeria, how much would it cost me per minute, per second, per all that? So
If they can prove that that's the system and that's how much they collect per every rate and stuff like that. If they can prove that this 15,000 was justified, and I don't know how you're going to justify that because there's roaming is not today.
Right? So for you to be able to roam in that particular country, meaning even if Nine Mobile is not there presently.
No, you roam before you leave.
I know, but even if you roam, the what they call them now, the company has to have like a relationship with a certain network there or have a presence there for you to work there.
So how expensive can it possibly be?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Until I have exact figures, I'm not saying what they are doing is completely correct. I'm just saying
that could be their standard.
It could be their standard rate.
I didn't even know that there was a nine mobile. Like, I had no idea that it's not called
free publicity. No,
well, this is not good publicity.
Yeah,
actually,
it's not.
Any kind of publicity.
No, Nigerians love their money.
The point is really that this is extremely expensive, but from what Ife is saying, if that is their standard rate and it's clear that is the standard rate, then fine. But roaming means that you have a form of presence in that location, or you have a partnership with a provider that has
it's going to be hard to justify that figure, but let's see what happens.
Okay, like he said too, I think it would be nice for her to come out and give us a follow-up on this furiousness, basically. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we'll be bringing you more stories. We'll be right back.
You're watching Plus TV Africa, and this is Tea Time.
I loved the energy when I came in here. It was so positive. I was like, I can't live here.
My real names are Akpotha.
I think my father is a comedian because most times when he calls me, he's like, yo, make sure you use condom. You know, them girls out there.
So are you telling me I should have shot my shots?
Ife, you are my younger brother. Age is nothing but a number. What? I'm a vampire.
I believe in equal rights for women, and I also believe that a man is the head of the house, so we need to draw our limits somewhere.
Feels so good. Now can I do my jam now?
Yeah, you can. Welcome back. This is still Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. Moving on, wife of Ekiti State Governor Mrs. B.C. Fyre on Thursday said it is discriminatory to expel pregnant schoolgirls and leave the boys. She made the statement during a meeting in Ado Ekiti with wives of coordinating directors and community development officers of the 16 local government councils in the state, describing the measure as discriminatory. According to her, pregnant girls face all kinds of punishment, including discriminating practices that deny them their rights to education. She expressed the readiness of the state government to implement relevant laws, including the Child Rights Act, gender equality, and other laws to protect the interests of children. I like that this is being discussed now because right from a very tender age, I've been thinking and wondering, why do we have to expel only the girl for getting pregnant? Because she's the one carrying the evidence of the atrocity, basically. Because if the problem is that they had sex in school, then two people should be getting the punishment and not one person. And I mean, right now, it's even possible for them to still go to school and have this baby until maybe the doctor says, okay, you're not medically fit or you have to rest. But people get pregnant and do things. I'm not saying it is right to start having sex as an underage, right? But if it happens and you have to tackle it, then maybe we should tackle it in a more friendly manner for both sexes. I don't know. What do you think, Ife?
I think if I
I actually wasn't aware that they expelled students.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I thought you just like dropped out of school because you couldn't carry. A place like SA now, it is very common for young girls getting pregnant. It's actually an epidemic there. So I just followed that law. I thought that law covered everyone that, you know, you don't get expelled because like it's not a crime, you know. But if they are expelling, I would say don't expel any students. No now to say to expel the man as well. I would say let the girls be in school so they can't anymore. Maybe your job as a school, as an institution that's trying to instill values in kids is to make sure that the men are accountable and they also get involved in this baby's life, even if it means that you do like extracurricular activities for them or something, talk about more sex education, how to be fathers when they're young, all of that stuff, like actually get involved, because that's one of the reasons why we put our kids in the schools longer than they're at home. So it's part of your responsibilities and stuff. But I'm just glad there is a woman, first lady that is opening her mouth, and it's not embarrassing. So I'm really happy about that she's actually making some kind of good change for the country. I think it's relieving for me that the girls have gotten into the news, and it's not so bad. We're actually fighting for these girls and stuff.
Sorry, before you come in, I also want to mention that if they're going to do this, aside from making the boys understand responsibilities and the little ways they can be of help, maybe it would be nice to also educate the students in general, because people drop out of school most of the time, even before they are expelled, because they cannot face the shame and feel like, oh, I'm pregnant and I'm going to school. I mean, you know, stuff like that. So I think there has to be a lot of awareness and sensitization if they're really going to do this.
All right, so I'm going to pick up on two things, sex education and stigma. Now, first of all, sex education is very important because that's one topic everybody tends to shy away from in schools, even in our houses. Like, our parents even shy away from talking about sex to us at a very young age because they feel like, oh, that is just going to corrupt you. But what is going to happen is going to happen regardless of whether you talk about it or you don't talk about it. So first of all, I think the issue should be tackled from sex education. Create awareness at a very tender age, especially with this new generation where we are like 4 steps ahead. So I think people need to start educating the girl child and the boy child about sex. Now, discrimination, you said a lot of people tend to drop out even before they get expelled, which is 90% the case. Now, I'm pulling off statistics from thin hair, but I know if we really check, you'll find out that that is the case most times. In fact, your parents are even angry and they just tell you, oh, you're not going to school, you cannot go and put my family to shame. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. Now, but my question is, what about a case where the person she's pregnant for? Now, you see a lot of elderly men involved with sexual activities with these underage girls. Now, imagine this girl is pregnant for an elderly man or something, or somebody that is not even in the same school with her. How do you balance that? Do you say, now these schools, they're trying to say that, oh, we're leading by example, because most of them would want to preach to you that, oh, you shouldn't have sex until you're a certain age or until you're ready. Now, if you're a GSS3 girl and you come to school with pregnancy, with the Nigerian culture, nobody expects anyone to welcome you with open arms, especially when your stomach starts getting big, and which is why I appreciate what Her Excellency is doing about this, saying that, look, we have to focus on the discrimination. Yes, it has happened. Now, where did we fail? Where did we go wrong? That is where we should be more concerned about, and not out to chase these people out or trying to say that, oh, we're leading by example. Because if you like chase the one in the school, they will see the one on the streets who is still pregnant and is still a young girl. So there's no way you can eradicate that lesson. And I think the 4 walls of a school is the best place. Now, make these people acceptable. Let them know that it is not right for them to get pregnant at that age, but at the same time, education is still the most important thing for everyone to get along.
I think the bulk of this job really falls on the laps of the teachers.
Yeah, and the parents.
Yeah, the parents, but even when you're done getting through with the parents and they're fine with the whole scenario and they say, okay, keep going to school, you will see children. I mean, you have a classroom of probably 20 to 30 or 40 people. Everybody's not going to reason the same way, right? And then she's there and she has to face all the whole stigma. It will happen one way or the other, no matter how much you sensitize. The teachers have to serve as that safe home where she can always run back to and be advised. There is this series that, I think MTV Sugar series, they focused on this, and you could see how the teacher was able to guide them and let them know that you will be fine. This is a phase, right? So I think the bulk of this job falls on the teachers, and they need to sensitize the teachers as well.
And I think we need to focus on what she's talking about and not go out of context, because we're not talking about now just pregnancy amongst underage people. We're talking about pregnancy amongst underage people of kids that are enrolled in school and the baby daddies are in school. That's what this focus is. And she's now saying, she's now shedding light on the discrimination that's happening on genders. So man and woman are involved in one crime. Only the woman suffers. Why? So she's saying if you're going to suffer everybody, and I think she's trying to make people think if you're going to expel one person, why don't you expel the other? But nobody wants all their kids to be expelled. So she's saying don't expel any of them. You know, the only way to show that is if you put it's like let me not go too far. But I think that's what she's trying to make. It's like a rhetorical question that like what about if I expelled both people? Nobody wants that, so therefore don't expel anyone. And I think that's what she's trying to like shine light on, that protect this girl child. I think there's some cases where even when the environment is there, the woman has decided she doesn't want to go to school. That's different. We're fighting for the girls who are pregnant by kids in school and want to stay in school, and you're not letting them.
All right, I think we're moving on to the next conversation, except you have anything else to add?
No, we can move on.
All right, Jaru shuts down class action lawsuit over shambolic Fyre festival. Okay, so I don't know if you watched the...
documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, both.
And that documentary sparked...
Which one did you watch?
Fyre festival.
There's the Fyre one and there's Fyre fraud.
No, it's Fyre festival I watched. So, okay, from the Fyre festival, it was just a case of people promoting a massive, huge event. I don't know if you saw it. A massive, huge event that's supposed to be the best. They're going to fly you in via an helicopter to an island and all that. They got social media influencers to talk about it. And they had like an awesome video ad for it. And everyone bought into it. But the event was horrible.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what happened in the
So the person that made the Fyre Festival documentary that you watched is by the producer of the show. So I would say personally that was a very like biased documentary, because he put it in a way that he's now putting the blame on the consumers. All we did was get Kylie Jenner and whoever and Bella Hadid, and you bought into that. It's not our fault. But there's another documentary that was made by people who kind of like tricked them to say, oh, we're actually on your side, but they asked them deeper questions. And you would see that these people knew way before they started publicizing to the public that they knew the thing wasn't going to, they knew that the event was going to flop, and they still kept asking people to come in. Just that, I mean, you and I make an event, and we know we're putting our attention on getting all the Tokemakin to get on our shows, but our event itself is crashing, but we're still selling tickets, and I'm getting a fair to put on Twitter and all the celebrities that, guys, it's going to happen, but they knew. So obviously the person that started the event is the one that got incriminated immediately. He has all the documents and all the access to all the information, and he clearly knew that this thing wasn't going to happen, and he still pushed it. So that's like fraud and misinformation to the audience and wasting of money and blah blah blah. So he's spending 6 years in jail. Jarrell, on the other hand, wasn't able to be incriminated legally, but I would personally say this man knew. He knew from the documentaries that the other people made.
No, I don't think so. From the documentary they made,
because
he wasn't very involved in the planning of the event.
He wasn't very involved, but he was aware, and he kept asking, because the documentary, the Fyre fraud documentary, he pretty much said to this guy, like, my homies are calling me, my name is out there, I'm a celebrity, like, and people are now telling me that somebody is saying that one of the people that were, the musicians that were aligned were pulling out because they started getting more information before the crowd, before the audience. And he started asking him, and he knew, he said, it's under control, but he kept on tweeting and saying, guys, festival is the biggest thing ever. And he never said on any of the radio stations or interviews that he made that, oh, this guy also conned me. So he was aware of the situation, but didn't really take a stand. Yeah. So that's what happened with that show. And then I think away from all this, it's very funny for some people. Like, it's just white kids who traveled to this really privileged party and they found bread and cheese, and like it wasn't fun for them, but they've gone back to their homes. The people that really suffered from this incident are the locals there. So they've been working for weeks, gathering things,
they weren't paid.
None of them were paid. We now seize your stuff. Maybe they can even get some revenue off the guy that's in prison now. The owner goes and then steals his franchise back. And like, if you look at it, pretty much, it's just privilege that has, and the only people who are receiving the consequences of these people are the poor people.
Okay.
Yeah, I can remember when this Fyre Fest documentary premiered on Netflix. I think I was a few of the first people to actually download it and actually watch it, because I thought it was a movie, to be honest. And then I ended up and it was a documentary, and I was kind of like disappointed. But I want to take the blame away from Ja Rule for it, because at some point I was thinking that, okay, how are they going to make this work, you know, trying to make this party really exclusive and all of that. Like, how is this even possible? So I was like, okay, this documentary is just a total...
it feels like Ja Rule is speaking right now.
Yeah,
but
like a total bollocks. So I figured, like, okay, this isn't going to work. But at the same time, I do not want to put the blame on Ja Rule, because if you check the capacity in which he was involved in this, it was the marketing manager or something like that. In that way, you've contracted me now as a popular face, as a public figure, to market your brand. It is what you tell me to market that I will market.
What if you then find out, Ife, as the marketer, that the thing I'm marketing is going to flames? You finally ask me, you're suspecting, you don't really know, but you're suspecting that it's not running as smoothly. When you find out, would you keep on marketing because you're getting paid?
Okay, now this is how business works. There's a contract. I have signed a contract. I have probably signed a non-disclosure contract. So even when I know that, okay, this is going into flames and it's not going to work,
you will still be public.
No, we would have our conversation. But if I'm having a conversation with somebody who is in charge of this event, and then you keep telling me that, look, it's fine, we have this money, you show me documents, you show, even false or not, or original document, you show it to me, you show it to me. I'm not with my lawyer. You're like, look, this is about $40 billion being put into this.
No, they're not showing you anything. He's telling you, this is what happens, because you're creating another story. This is what happens. He's close to this person, apart from being a marketing guy. He's not just some like face. These people, they were business partners. It wasn't just a pretty face or a celebrity that had influence and wanted to market. He was working this business with him. He was getting all the musicians and everything. These people started asking for information, like, where is his place? Can I see the layouts? Can I see the stage? There was nothing there.
I think I don't know, maybe because I didn't see the fraud one, but the one I saw, from what I saw, he basically shielded the information even from Ja Rule. He was giving them fake information, giving them false hope, and telling them this thing, we have it under control.
So, like I said, that documentary that you made was from the people that are what they did was they made it. Sorry, what they did was they tried to make a documentary that wouldn't allow them to be legally implicated in any way, and play the naive card. We didn't know, and they blamed everything on the main guy. The other documentary shows clips of Ja Rule asking.
We have to go. Probably have this conversation later, but that's how we wrap up. Join us this afternoon for another episode of the program. Until then, my thank you goes to my co-anchors Ife Oluwa Omai and Ife Oluwa Oshukeye. Thank you for watching. My name is Elsie Godwin. See you later.